back in Chicago after Albany and after speaking to raise bail, I organized the Interracial Council of Methodists and put out press releases. Oh, and when I was in the parish, I'd put out press releases to the citywide press. And one time I shared the front page of the Daily News with Karl Barth, who's a famous theologian who was speaking that week at the University of Chicago. But Karl Barth, Alan Anderson, you know, because I knew how to write a press release, and they liked it. Now, some of the press releases were kind of schizophrenic. I worked my way into the movement in Chicago, and I got delegated a lot of things. I was a student, and I had time and energy, and but I frequently was on a writing committee with Ann Proston. And here's Alan Anderson writing, reform, needing to change society and so forth. And here's Ann Proston writing, up against the wall, MFers, you know. I did not know until later she had been a writer for the Daily Worker.
Okay.
One of the things you got used to in the civil rights movement was there were a few communists around, and that was okay. There were two elderly black gentlemen who were the only known officers or members of the, can't remember what they call themselves, Negro American History Association or something like that. But they were communists, and they never bothered us. We never bothered them. They came to the meetings. Oh, I should say, part of getting involved in the civil rights movement, I became the representative of the Interracial Council of Methodists at the Coordinating Council of Community Organizations, which was the coalition of civil rights groups in Chicago. And to be there was to have your finger on the button.
And those groups were working on a number of issues, am I right?
Yes.
What were there? Some were doing housing, because you had some housing issues. Some were doing
jobs. Some were doing schools. It was a variety, a lot of community organizations. Your mainline organizations, NAACP and Urban League. Newer organizations, CORE and SNCC. Professional organizations, Lincoln Dental. They were never named Chicago Bar Association or Chicago Medical Association. They had to find some other name for the African American version. And special religious organizations, Catholic Interracial Council, Methodists, the Episcopal Society for Cultural and Racial Unity, a couple others. It grew from a handful of organizations, less than a dozen, but most of the time until King came to town, it was in the 20s. And then after King came to town, it exploded.